going through that pay for performance with the health plans, and we are held to these quality measures, these indicators, because there's a lot of money on the table that the health plans will return to the groups. And in turn, we're spending a heck of a lot of money preparing for this. What's bothering me is that we're measuring things that we have decided not to measure because we've succeeded the goals. And some of them don't even pertain to our population. For example, we don't have any kids in our group, so why are we doing childhood immunizations for the 7,000 kids that are assigned to the family practitioners? So if you know what I mean, I'm caught in this ethical dilemma. There's a lot of money to be had, and that's why I'm doing it, but I think we should be spending that money on other worthwhile quality projects. What do you think?
Lynn, thanks for coming by. What I hear you saying is that you think some of what you're doing is totally irrelevant, that you're wasting time, manpower, hours that would be better served doing other things. And you also recognize that there's a potential conflict here if we do away with this activity because there's an incentive, a financial incentive, to tie your pay and that of your department with performance. So it's a dilemma. On one side of this dilemma, you have the issue of, is what we're doing really a relevant activity, and is it the best way to use our facility and our people? And on the other, you know that you can't totally do away with it because your paycheck is tied to it. I hear what you're saying, and I understand that you're concerned, and you look frustrated by it too.
Thank you. Can you tell me a little bit about your accomplishments in this field?
Sure. In 1988, I was thrown into the fire. I had left a group and relocated to Orlando and had to learn what it was to be an entrepreneur. I started to practice from scratch, had 2 dimes in my pocket. Fortunately, a wonderful, supportive wife who happens to be a nurse. So she was able to function as my office nurse and manager. And right from the get-go, I had to learn how to negotiate, because we would take a lot of stuff back home with us. We had to continue the dialogue 24/7, not infrequently. I had to develop a team-building approach because I had to go out and obviously hire more people as we became busier. I had to deal with managed care, being in Orlando, Florida. It's the managed care mecca of our community, and we have to contend with that whether we like it or not. I had to learn how to reach out and be part of a team and not feel like I could do it all myself, and consequently delegate in order to accomplish my goals. I had a vision of where I wanted to take the practice, but clearly as a one-man doctor practice with a couple of helpers, it took an awful lot of cooperation, not only on their part, but on my part, to learn how to delegate and to give up some of the authority that I otherwise would hold on to myself. I'm pleased to say that from the very beginning, we've been profitable. We've never run the red, we've been the black, and we just celebrated 15 years of practice, and now we're a 2-doctor group with 20 employees, a full-time clinical research operation, and I've earned appointments to the medical school and pharmacy school at the University of Florida where I teach.
That's great. Victor, can you give me an example of how you have managed people in the past?
Initially, not as good as I would like to think, because I was much more initially dictatorial. Do this, do that, do this, do that. And in order for me to learn how to be more influential, I had to expand my circle of influence. And by doing that, I had to learn first to trust people, to give them an idea of what I wanted to have done, and then let them get it done. So rather than hovering and being a doting parent, if you will, which I tend to be with my kids, I would back off and say, these are not my kids, these are employees and they're adults and they have their own ideas and they want to succeed, and I'm going to help facilitate that success. And so the more I stepped away and provided the resources for the employees to succeed, the more they succeeded, the happier they became, and the busier we became.
Thanks for coming. I brought my staff together, including the physicians, administrative staff, and the employees, and I asked them one question. What is it that all of us do that's the same, no matter whether you're a nurse, a secretary, office manager, physician. I got these blank stares. I said, the thing that we all do, which is the same, is that we are data managers. We are managing information. And what is it that you're concerned about? What are your concerns, your fears? What do you take home with you at night? What anxieties do you have about this information? Because each bit of information that we're talking about translates as a person's life and the impact they have on it. And they're concerned about making a mistake, about perhaps coding something incorrectly, or the scrutiny that we're under from third parties, such as the HIPAA guidelines that now are in place. And with that preamble, I decided it was time for us to look, research, and do our due diligence on electronic medical records. So we're in the process of doing that right now. We're in the first phase of that, which is our due diligence to investigate what would be the best EMR system for a 2-doctor practice, 20 employees, including a full-time clinical research operation. I've spoken to physicians in the community, and they have embraced it. Some lukewarm, some more enthusiastic, but clearly they find it to be beneficial. It helps them on the job do a better job, and the staff to communicate more efficiently with the organization. I've talked with the bankers. They're willing to help us underwrite the expense. And the way I look at it is that, at the very least, it'll help avoid having the staff to read my handwriting. Legibility is a big problem. So from simple issues to major issues, we can become more efficient, cost-effective, and feel more comfortable with our decision.
Good.
Dan, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for inviting me to be here.
We've got an issue here or two that we've got to discuss, and as chief of staff, I called you in because I thought it was of the magnitude that I wanted to hear from me, because there's been some grumbling out there amongst some of our colleagues and peers regarding some of the things that are going on regarding your practice. Now, you've been a very productive guy on staff, and that's sort of a good thing and not such a good thing, because part of the reason that you've been so productive in terms of seeing patients, doing procedures, and generating a lot of money for the hospital is that you are doing a very high volume of procedures in a short period of time. In fact, you've totally monopolized the cath suites in the radiology department to the point where you wedged out other cardiologists and radiologists that need to do procedures, and they feel that you come in sort of with a prima donna attitude that this is my suite and I'm going to do what I want to do, and it's created some tension in the staff. That alone would be something we potentially could work on and fix with scheduling, but the real concern that I have now in terms of quality is that we've been charting your outcomes, and you have many more significant complications with patients that you've done procedures on. Caths, PTCA, stenting of the heart and of the blood vessels. You're a very aggressive guy. You're doing procedures that are literally cutting edge, and some of the docs are concerned, particularly in your section, and they'd rather not come forth for obvious reasons because they don't want to be perceived as sour grapes. But I personally looked into it, and you've had some significant complications with a few patients, and you and I have talked a little bit about that, but now it's come to a head, and I wanted to see what you think.
I really hear you that you're saying that we have two problems. One problem is that I'm a successful physician, and my patients like me, and my referring physicians like me, and because of that, I'm having a high volume of patients, and then other folks who don't have the volume of patients really are feeling bad about that. And I'll be more than happy to move some or all of my business to the hospital down the road if feel that I'm using too much of the resources here in the hospital. The other problem is that because I am cutting edge and because I'm really going to all the conferences and learning all the new procedures, and because I'm treating patients that are being declined by other physicians, this high severity is definitely causes increasing complications, and that would be expected. Because of that, I'm also being criticized, I feel.
I'm going to cut in because there's a specific case that you and I know about of the 16-year-old who was a high-risk cardiac case did the procedure on had a major complication. It was advised by another cardiologist, a colleague of yours, not to do the procedure. That patient had a rupture of the aorta and be airlifted to a tertiary care center, never made it, and died. So this is one of several significant complications. This was a 16-year-old. I'm beginning to get concerned that you're running a mill, and if you want to take some of your cases elsewhere, particularly those types of cases, be my guest.
Good morning, Ms. Linney and Dr. Pollard. My name is Victor Roberts, and I want to thank you for asking me to speak with you regarding my medical management skills and accomplishments. My present position is President and CEO of Endocrine Associates of Florida in Orlando, Florida. The showcase of my professional career would have to be the fact that I established and have maintained and provided leadership to our group practice in Orlando. This would not have been possible without exercising skills such as entrepreneurship, strategic planning, and strong communication with team building. I started the business 15 years ago with 2 in staff, and today our organization has grown to 20 committed associates, including physicians, administrative and support staff, and the full-time clinical research department. To attract good people to join me, I had to be very clear as to what direction I wanted to take the organization. Our mission is to deliver exemplary care to our patients and nurture the professional growth of our staff. As a result of our commitment, our office has been recognized by the American Diabetes Association as providing state-of-the-art care for people with diabetes. We earned these credentials as a result of adhering to strict national patient care clinical guidelines. Maintaining high standards is a big part of our organizational culture. This requires that I must continually communicate with physicians and employees and be readily available to them to tackle the inevitable challenges in the healthcare arena. As Florida has much managed care, I had become facile in the art of negotiating and understanding the finances of negotiating good contracts with managed care payers. From its inception, I have led an organization that has always ended up in the black at the end of the fiscal year. I believe that one of the hallmarks of a successful CEO is to be highly visible, not only in the business proper, but externally as well. My colleagues and staff expect that of me. I look upon volunteering for leadership positions outside of organization as not only a way to strengthen the community, but also assist us in remaining competitive in the marketplace through networking. I have been privileged to serve as president of the local medical society and chief of staff. I currently serve as chief of endocrinology at Orlando Regional Medical Center. My commitment to education has permitted me to teach house staff, pharmacy, and nursing students, and I've earned academic appointments in the College of Medicine as clinical professor of medicine and the College of Pharmacy as clinical associate professor of pharmacy practice at the University of Florida. One of my current obligations is to assist in the due diligence of exploring electronic medical records. I've been learning about informatics in a way that this vehicle of communication can improve our group's efficiency and effectiveness. The first step was to talk to all of the associates of the group and determine what their concerns and expectations were about data management.